Now we got two for today, a little teaser on our 442 and
a 1970 Chevelle. It's an SS clone. We're talking big block, 4-speed. It's gonna be a blast.
who doesn't love a big block? We got a lot of killer interior going in this thing, so it's getting dressed up nice. But in the meantime, a little update on this little bad boy right here.
Stick around. So bouncing on our Two Guys Garage Facebook page, a few of you asked about our old 442 project.
A lot more interesting than we even thought, especially though when we put the LS3 in here. So why don't you come along for a little history tour of this project. We'll show you what we've been doing since you've seen it last.
Now you guys remember our old 442 project. It's a 1986. We started by taking the body off the chassis, then dropping the brand new LS3 engine and transmission in it. Then we started tackling the rest of the car, cleaned up the underside with some spray on insulation.
Now to wake up that LS3, we added full-length headers and a new exhaust system and several other parts to make this LS3 engine breathe and make all that power. And from gbodyparts.com, we got a bunch of replacement items to bring the 442 back to life.
Man, that's right. Now you already saw the new steel gas tank and the cowl induction hood, but we also added some new plastic chrome headlight bezels and grills on the front of the car. Now the best part about that is these parts are gonna last a lot longer than the original parts, since the technology to make these plastic pieces has greatly advanced over the last 30 years or so. You could actually feel the weight differences with the better ABS plastic and chroming.
They also sent us new bumper marker lights. This will be a huge improvement on the old ones. Along with the new fender and rear marker lights, these will really help improve the look and safety of our 442.
Now the headliner of this car was really hurting too, so we've installed a new one to get the interior, headed in the right direction.
And if you remember our old tires, we couldn't even roll around the shop without risking a blowout because the cords were hanging out. But we replaced those with some new Cooper Cobra GTs from Tires Easy. Now this car isn't quite roadworthy yet, but at least we can roll around the shop.
Okay, so obviously there's a lot more work to do in our 86 442, but we're getting there. And one of the first things I gotta do is get rid of this stink coming from this cab. Look, I'm telling you this, if you're driving around doing a stinky leg and you don't know how to dance, then you got problems. If this was smell-o-vision television, you guys would be so mad. So this is why we got this product from Starbright. It's their auto odor eliminator. Stuff is great. It's actually a chlorine dioxide formula that eliminates odors, so it's not like, say, an air freshener that just kind of puts perfume on there, or your buddy that wears a lot of Axe body spray. Now let me show you how it works. You get this actual kit. So you want to open it up. See, it has some holes to let it permeate through and into the cab of the car. You have this pouch. You want to get your sponge in here, moist, okay, not dripping. Then you really just want to insert this in the provided slit that you have in your sponge while it's still moist. Slide it up about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Drop it in here. Now just close it, set it right down here, let it go to work chewing up those odors. Handle that funk of the 442. Meanwhile, come on over this side, and we got a big block bad boy.
That G-Body is an awesome project and all, but I got a soft spot for the 70 Chevelle we've been working on.
Oh man, let me tell you, 396, it's an L34, 350 horsepower. We went from an automatic transmission to a 4-speed. That required a little bit of work on the tunnel.
Yeah, so we had to clearance a little room for the shifter, all the linkage and everything. We've got our clutch pedals in there, so a lot of that conversion is all done, right? Powertrain is in, starting to get some wires and stuff. So now it's kind of continuing on.
Yes.
And as you can see, we're going to work our way into the interior with a whole bunch of goodies from our friends at OPGI.
Now, let's talk about it. Original Parts Group, man. They're like a one-stop shop. And the great thing about these guys is they make a lot of the stuff right in-house. So you know the quality, top notch. And when we're talking about the Super Sport, the clone, if you will, that we're doing, a couple things to keep an eye out. Now, for example, when you go shopping for your 70 Chevelle Super Sport, look at the dash. Dead giveaway as to whether or not it's a clone. If you look at the dash and it has rectangular style gauges, all right, that means it was originally a Malibu or not an SS. The SS's had these 3 pods, and the speedometer was always in the center. I will tell you this, a lot of guys will tend to take that 1970 through 72 Monte Carlo dash, which again, looked just like this with the 3 pods, except the Monte Carlo dash had wood grain. So a lot of guys will tab that wood grain finish, or they'll peel it off fill in the holes, and paint it black. But the dead giveaway is this textured surface that you see on the dash. So if you're out there shopping for your true SS, one of the giveaways, look at the gauges. Rectangular, not a true SS. Another good hint are the gauges. You see what my man Kevin's working with? So in 1970, they had this green tint to them. In say 71, 72, they were white. So just a couple little tips for you when you're out shopping for your own SS.
That's good stuff to know, man.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna start here. You know, we can see all the gauges and everything going into this cluster. This guy will eventually kind of set in there somewhere like so, right? Go together. We're gonna pre-assemble as much as we can into that dash, so then it's just sort of a one-shot drop in on the inside there.
Dude, not only do you get all the gauges, gloves, all the circuit board, but a complete wiring harness as well. Now this is good from the firewall interior all the way to the front of the car. So it's a great little harness, great little kit. All of it comes with this kit we got from OPGI.
All right, so I'm gonna continue on to get this part together. We'll,
Yes.
like I said, do some pre-assembly and we'll see you on the inside there in just a few minutes.
Oh man. Okay. You know, another little tidbit about these 70 SSs is the tack, believe it or not, was an option. It wasn't standard equipment. You actually had to buy a tachometer. Crazy to think about, right? Ah, the new car interior smell. You gotta love it.
You know what's just as nice as looking at a, brand new IP and gauges is a dash pad.
Yes, man. Because over time, these things dry rot and they crack, they get huge crevices in it and so forth. So we're gonna get this guy on here, get this dash all fit, finished, and trimmed out. And when we come back, we attack the steering column. So you guys stick around.
This segment of Two Guys Garage is brought to you by StarTron, enzyme fuel treatment for all engines.
All right, more Chevelle candy from OPGI. It's a steering column. And a lot of people feel like, hey man, if the steering column is not black, it's not a true SS. Well, more often than not, the steering column was the identical color of the interior of the car. So don't be alarmed if you go and have a mint green SS steering column. All right.
Okay, let's stab this guy in.
Okay.
And sneak it around that brake pedal. All right, with the column all mounted solid, time for the finishing touches. Yeah, a little SS sort of horn system here. A couple screws on the back side. And I think it's time to move on. Maybe some carpet, yeah, some door panels. So get rolling on that as soon as I wrap this up.
Look at this, man. This car is coming together. All of a sudden, sitting in here, it's like being dropped face first in the pool of paradise. Look at this carpet. Sweet, right? Now, let me give you a couple tricks. So when you're installing carpet, we got to kind of roughly lay it in here about where we want it. A good little trick is, this is a console car. So a lot of times when you're installing a console, you'll have a big gap in between the carpet and the console bottom here. Well, a lot of times it's covered up by the seat. But when you get up here, a good little trick is cut the carpet and then throw in some insulation or some carpet matting, and that way it brings the carpet up to the bottom of the console. All right, that way you get all that gap filled in. Looks a lot better. Another thing is you have bolts for the seats and say the old headlight dimmer switch. You got to get through that carpet somehow. A bunch of us have been burned back in the old time days when we were kids, just taking a drill and what happens? The loops get caught up in the drill bit. You unfringe all your brand new carpet. Oh, that doesn't make anybody happy. Well, take a punch, some MAP gas or a torch, heat it up, comes right through the carpet like butter. And also, you get a little prick on the bottom of the car if you're trying to locate a bolt or a hole, boom, push it up through the carpet. That way you come on the top side and do the same thing with the punch through. So I got a little bit of work to do. Grab me some razor blades, some scissors, some tools, get this carpet laid in here nice. And when we come back, more eye candy for you in the form of some door panels.
welcome back to our 70 Chevelle project. We are rocking this interior out, and I'm moving on to the door panels. Now, let me show you what we've got here. So there's a couple ways you can get panels. You can get the whole complete assembly, you hook them on, clip them on, you're ready to go. Or you can save a few bucks and use some of your old panel, like this top hanger part here, and you can reuse it and incorporate it into the lower part. So let me show you that on the bench so you see how the whole process works. So pop this guy off, and how this works, again, you're really hanging the door card off of this piece of sheet metal. Now the originals, you can see them over here, they staked them. So this hole got punched through into the cardboard and split out like this and grabbed it. Now that's going to kind of get in the way if we want this to sit nice and flat, and then once we roll the material over like so you got the top part now, you don't want to see any kind of read through here, whether it's, you know, the step just from the sheet metal thickness or how we attach it. So the first thing we're going to do is grind off just those stakes that are in the way so we can sit a little bit flatter on the surface. Then we can come over here with some rivets. I'm using an 1/8 inch by about a 1/4 inch long. And what that's going to do is kind of just drop into that little pocket there. And once that rivet tip is broken off, it's going to be pretty flush. So we're trying not to see any kind of read through of that rivet either. All right, man, check it out. We got all the rivets on here. We don't have to do every single hole. If you kind of go every other one or space it, you know, about so far apart, you got plenty of grab there. Now here's again the trick. We're trying not to get any kind of read through on a funny, uneven surface. So another little tip there is don't get spray glue as we roll this around, kind of in this area. What you want to do is kind of start your glue up here so you're attaching up there with both layers, and you just kind of let this float over that bump, right? So it just kind of floats over, it's nice and smooth, looks awesome. Okay, so let me flip this guy over here. We got 2 layers. We got this brown one, which really is acting like the felt. It's giving you some of that soft, pillowy feel to it. So we're gonna wrap this guy around, so we'll spray him up, and then we can spray up the other side. You can use a professional gun if you're a bad dude, got a pro shop, or get yourself a good can of really nice adhesive spray. Got myself a little bit of target coverage here, so let's see. Okay. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim this off. I'm not gonna trim it off here. There's actually a little bit of a whoop there, and I'm gonna trim this just behind there, let the felt essentially sit down in there, and then the black will roll right over the top, nice and smooth.
Man, I'm telling you, our 70 Chevelle SS clone is looking fantastic. You recall, this car had nothing. No dash pad, no dash, no gauges, no carpet, no sweet console. Now you look at it, it's really coming together. You know, and it's the little things, man, that kind of make you happy in an old school muscle car. Just looking at the brake pedal, it says disc brakes. You look at the sweet console, which is, I swear you can't tell that from the factory console. Reversed, first, second, third, and fourth. I don't know about you guys, but to me, that sounds like a challenge. All right, now I'm just finishing up the door sill plate, get all this buttoned up, and we'll get the rest of the, look at my man right here, the rest of the interior in it.
Now obviously, that part of the car interior was wrecked.
Yeah.
But on close inspection, even though these look kind of weathered, I think we get a little elbow grease in them. They'll look pretty new, and we can get it to match everything pretty nicely, save ourselves a lot of hassle and a few bucks.
All right? Cleaning
yeah.
that thing up. When we come back, we'll start throwing those things in, get this thing all wrapped up.
All right, this is your friendly reminder that you actually have an air filter, a cabin air filter in your car. You kind of forget about it.
It's got to be the most abused filter you do or you don't do, because everybody forgets about it. They never change it, especially if you're toting around pets in your car, something like that. And here's the great part about AC Delco's filter, okay? Now, they even tell you, let me show you something. Airflow, this direction, right? Well, what happened here? Well, the guy put it in backwards.
It's an arrow.
There's an arrow.
But it shows you what it's doing, right? It's picking up all that, dust, pollutants, pollen, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, even inside when you're recirculating, pet hairs, it just sucks it up, just like the one in your house.
Yeah.
And think about it, every time you change that filter in your house, you probably ought to go out in the car, because it's driving around all the time, picking up all that stuff.
Right, so if you can't get rid of the tube sock smell and the Axe body spray smell, change your cabin air filter with this new one from AC Delco.
Yeah, and what's great is their OE fit and function, so it's going to drop right in there. Piece of cake, man, you're done.
Done. All right, we use this product a lot. It's from Crown Performance. It's their stainless steel brake lines. These things meet all the DOT specs. They're pressure tested to 4,500 PSI. That means no volumetric expansion. What is that, Kev?
That's right, man. Well, just like when you're a suspension, right? You put on stiffer bushings, tightens everything up, brings the performance level to a higher level.
Yeah.
You tighten up your brake system, because when you push that pedal, you want to clamp right on that binder. You don't want your hoses flexing and swelling and having a whole bunch of soggy feeling.
Yeah.
You tighten them up with 5 layers of stainless and Kevlar versus kind of the cheapy lines, right? Where it just has an inner tube, a little bit of stainless on there to look nice. This gives you all the durability, the strength, the stiffness of all those layers, so you have the performance right at your brakes when you touch that pedal, man.
There you go, Crown Performance stainless steel brake lines. All right, happy to tell you about this from Hot Shot Secret. It is a brand new product. It's called EDT, Everyday Diesel Treatment. I think you're gonna love this.
Yeah, and it's basically, just like it says, you use it daily. When you fill up your tank of diesel fuel, you put a little bit in there,
Just
the
this
whole
little-
tank, and it's gonna keep your fuel system dry and clean, but it's gonna do a lot of other things. Now, if you do a comparison, the Diesel Extreme is kind of like going to the dentist once or twice a year.
Oh, I need
This
to do
does
that
a
right here.
full, it takes all the varnish off your
Yeah.
components, really cleans the system, but this is your daily, right?
like brushing your teeth. Yeah.
But it adds things like cetane. So it bumps your cetane up about 7 points. That's going to improve startability.
Yeah.
It's going to add horsepower.
Yeah,
Right?
man. Improves fuel economy by 3 to 5%. Basically, you're chemically altering your fuel, make it more efficient and burn better.
Yeah, if you guys are driving diesels, you know about regen. Well, that's actually a little bit of wasted fuel burned downstream to clean
Yes.
that diesel particulate filter. This can slow that down, cut it about in half. So you're picking up a lot of fuel economy just from the chemical nature and not having to do regen.
There you go, man. It's a great product from Hot Shot Secret. It's their everyday diesel treatment. Pick some up.
Yeah, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's more Chevelle, baby.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, welcome back. Man, we are making some serious progress on our
Amen,
70
man.
Chevelle. So we've got the interior rocked out. It's looking awesome. Now we're waiting for some more parts, and obviously you can see we got a lot more to go. We're getting a little antsy because we got a new tool in here. Now, before I get into that, let me give you some background, man. We've been wanting to get an alignment machine in here for a long time.
Forever.
Because we're always fiddling with cars. But they're huge. We don't have a place to put it. They're expensive. So let me show you something even better. Come on over here. All right, and this is a complete alignment kit. This is from Quick Trick. It's awesome because it has everything in here. It comes in this bag, which you can throw in the back of your car. You can take to the racetrack, right? Tucks away in your garage. It does caster, camber, and tow. And I'll show you really quickly how it works. Now, we don't have all the weight in our car, so we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but just pay attention. Now, once you've modified things and you've jacked your car up in the air, your suspension is going to droop or sag. When you set it down on the ground, the friction of the tire won't let it go to the proper position.
Right.
So roll your car back and forward, and it'll find its true ride, right? And then you can just roll right up on these turn plates. Now, the turn plates are part of this Pick 3 kit. So you got an alignment kit, right? And you got the turn plate, that's part number 2.
Yeah.
And the third is lifetime for the specs on just about any car from 1960 up to 2012
Yeah, man,
so far.
it's an amazing package you get with this one and all kind of kit.
Yeah, and if you want to hop out,
Yeah.
I'll show you how to do tow. All right, now this kit is all about simplicity and accuracy. So with my digital angle finder that comes with it, and 2 tape measures, which I'll show you how they work, I'll slide one on the other side, because we've got a triangular system just like this.
So simple.
Yeah, that locks in there like that. Zip the other side across. Like so. Now the difference in dimensions from left to right or front to back of the tire is your toe in and your toe out. So I can easily go into there with my tie rods and I can spin this thing to get my tires in or out to whatever spec I want. And again, if I come right on here, because I've got lifetime specs at my fingertips, I can look up my vehicle, I can get my specs, or if I'm a racer, I dial in what I want,
man.
right? So super simple, kit drops, puts in the bag.
It's an amazing bag of convenience when it comes to an alignment, and that means performance on road courses, tracks, and so forth.
Yeah. Now with a few more parts up front, we'll be able to dial this thing in for good.
Yeah, but what a transformation we made in just a few hours on this car, man. Amazing. The interior looks fantastic. Dash, seats, console, great stuff.
And you know what it took was a little elbow grease, right? And a little bit of cash, because yeah, we did a lot of this.
All right, man. Well, look, we're out of time now. I'm going to rough them up. You guys, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Take care.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Dude, those are awesome, right?
Yeah. This car is awesome.
Two Guys Garage is brought to you in part by Federated Auto Parts. Best parts, best people, best service. Vehicle transportation provided by Pilot Transport, auto hauling specialists.